2025 is going to be a huge season for Major League Soccer, and it's going to be a pivotal moment for the league in its growth and reaching its ultimate goal of being a top league in the world. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to MLS Moves. Please make sure you like this video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're trying to hit 6,000 subscribers by MLS opening day. And with your help and the momentum we have, I know that we will hit that goal. Also, hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of my videos. Now, I want to talk about a few things of why I believe MLS is heading for a huge and the best season of its existence in 2025. And one of the things is that teams are spending big. Now, you're going to say, well, there's always teams that spend, especially the big markets, teams like the LAFC, the LA Galaxy, Inter Miami. But those teams are spending, which we will talk about in a minute. But there are other teams that are spending as well. Look at Atlanta United in 2025 heading into the season. Now, they signed Miranchuk in the 2024 summer window, and they made a lot of money off of selling Caleb Wiley, Thiago Almada, Giorgio Giacomakis. But they're not just sitting on that money. They're actually reinvesting it in the team, and they're about to break the MLS transfer record when they sign Emmanuel Latte, if that goes through, which it looks like it's going to. And they have some backup plans if it doesn't, which are going to be expensive as well. But all eyes are on him, and they're going to spend 20 million euros on a striker from the championship. Now, some people may disagree. I sort of disagree, maybe thinking they could do a little better with that type of money. But the fact is, this is a striker that is garnering Premier League interest, and Major League Soccer looks like a team in Major League Soccer looks like they're on the verge of beating those teams out to sign a striker of his quality. And on top of that, they're bringing back Miguel Almiron, a name that most of you are very familiar with, probably the best player in franchise history, debatably with Joseph Martinez, but a club icon, 30 years old, and Miguel Almiron will be 31 here in a couple of weeks. But they're adding big-time pieces to an already pretty solid competitive team that just beat Inter Miami in the first round of the 2024 MLS Cup playoffs. So they also signed Ronnie Dyla, which is a huge, huge move. So you see a team like that who are adding players, who are signing proven winners in Major League Soccer. That is a difference maker that is going to elevate the league. And it's a team that's going to be potentially in contention for the first seed in the Eastern Conference. We'll see what else they add and what else these other teams add, but that is something you like to see. A team that has always been ambitious, or at least they had been in the early existence of their league, spending big money and really committing to it. Now, let's talk about Austin FC, another team that was pretty bad in 2024. Not to say Atlanta was bad, but not as good as they normally, or what we are accustomed to seeing them play in years past. But Austin FC really breaking the bank in 2024, spending $12 million on Albanian international Uzini from Granada of La Liga, spending $10 million on Brandon Vasquez, a striker from Monterrey, obviously played in Cincinnati, was very good, and had a short stint in Atlanta United. Didn't really do as well in Liga MX as you would like, but they are spending money, and they're willing to spend money to help elevate this team and make them better and competitive in 2024. Austin FC is not a team that predominantly spends a lot of money. They normally are very more of like a bargain hunting club. They're trying to get a good deal, a fair value, not necessarily trying to get into the MLS record books for transfer fees, but they are spending money and they are trying to compete. And when you have a team like Austin FC, who were really bad, one of the worst teams in the Western Conference, starting to do that, starting to compete with other teams in MLS, that inherently is going to raise the quality of the league because your bad teams are getting better. So it's nice to see. Now, they did hire Nico Estevez, the former FC Dallas coach. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like recycling mediocre managers, but who knows? Maybe a change of scenery, different style players in his system, maybe that will be the difference maker. But we are seeing a team like Austin FC spending money, which is important, and we need more teams like that to do this. And another team doing that is San Jose. Now, San Jose isn't breaking records of transfer fees and stuff, but they're building a team that's going to compete. And they start off with trading for Chicho Arango from RSL for $1.5 million in GAM. And he's going to be a difference maker for this team, linking up with Bruce Arena, which is another great hire in this league because you're hiring a manager who is proven at the highest level of this league, and you are pairing him with a terrible team, and he has won everywhere he's been. So you have to think that that's going to make this team's level of play rise. So you're pairing probably the best coach in MLS history with the worst team. They are going to improve. They've got Chicho Arango, who was on pace to win MVP in 2024 before his suspension. You have Joseph Martinez, who's one of the most lethal goal scorers in MLS. Now, I don't know how much he has left in the tank, but he is one of the most lethal goal scorers in Major League Soccer history. And having those two together is going to be very interesting, fun to watch. I think San Jose is going to be very competitive. I think San Jose is going to be probably the second best team in California in 2020 in 2025, the way things are currently. But we will see. We will see what else they do. Another team is the Chicago Fire. They signed Jonathan Bamba from Celta Vigo, and this is a player that MLS was interested a couple years ago. I think it was LAFC were trying to sign him over Denny Bouanga, and they ended up signing Denny Bouanga because Jonathan Bamba did not want to come. But that is a team that is also spending money trying to improve. They hired Greg Berhalter, which is going to be better than what they've had, regardless if you like him or not. He will be better, an improvement from what they've had. They were trying to get into the Neymar race that we had heard, but it looks like Neymar is going to go to Santos on a 6-month loan. That is another team that's very bad, improving. Bad teams improving is going to raise the quality because there's not going to be as many weeks off. We need to not necessarily raise the ceiling of MLS, which we do. That is important, but we need to raise the floor because there are a lot of bad teams who aren't committed to spending, who aren't committed to winning, and we need to make sure we eliminate as many of those as we possibly can and have these teams spend some money, resources, try to build a competitive roster so that way the fans are engaged locally, that way that they can win games, and that way they have a chance of making the playoffs. When it comes to MLS decision day, right? A lot of people complain about how many teams there are, and I'm one of them, but we need to make sure that there are a lot of people in the hunt for those final playoff spots or the movement of the seeding. And this is going to do that. It's going to be probably the most competitive season in MLS history just because of all the good acquisitions these teams have made. And I can't wait to see what happens. Now, we also have to touch on the good teams improving as well. LA Galaxy lost Brugman, which did hurt, but they're rumored to be signing a young Uruguayan defensive midfielder for around 5 to 6 million from Nacional of Uruguay. So they were replacing him, U22, big time move. Ricky Puig is hurt, but I think they'll be fine at least until he comes back in the summertime. They just won MLS Cup. They added a veteran center back in Zonka from Anderlecht, who also played in the Premier League for a couple years to give them some more depth, primarily for the CONCACAF Champions Cup. That's going to help them out a lot. They just re-signed Maya Yoshida. This is a team that is improving on an already good team. They just won MLS Cup. So even the teams that have won are not just sitting back and sitting idly and just saying, okay, it's cool, we're good, we're content, we're just going to run it back. They are improving and adding more to the roster. Let Will Kuntz cook. And then you have Inter Miami adding all kinds of different players. Tadio Alande, they're adding Falcon, they're adding this young goalkeeper from Lanús, whose name is slipping my mind at the moment, but they're adding pieces. They're getting rid of dead weight. They're getting rid of dead weight. They're getting rid of Kristoff. They're getting rid of maybe even Drake Calendar. Now, Drake Calendar, I don't know for sure if he's going to be the starting goalkeeper, but possibly could be traded. They got rid of Leo Campana because he's not starting. Not that he's bad, but he's not going to start. And they could get $2.5 million in GAM to really help fill out the rest of their roster. They're building this differently this year. I think they're going to have way better depth, which they need. And it's going to be scary because this team already broke the MLS record for most points in a season, and they're adding better depth. We'll see what Javier Mascherano can do, but these good teams are getting better, and the bad teams are getting better, and that is going to raise the quality, and it's going to be an exciting battle-tested season to see what happens. Now, the next point, and this is very important because a lot of people were upset about this in years past, well, at least since the Apple TV deal. The games are going to be more staggered. No more all games local 7:30 kickoff. They're going to have a 2:00 game, a 5:00 game, a 7:30 game, an 8:30 game. They're going to spread these out so people like myself who watch the whole league can follow each team, right? It's hard. I can't watch 2 games at once. And even if I'm simulcasting them, I can't pay attention and give the detail that I need to give you guys analysis. It's hard. I want to be able to focus in on a game, watch it through from start to finish and know what's happening. I don't want to have to scroll back and forth and watch this for 20 seconds, that for 2 minutes. We're all going to be able to enjoy at least more games throughout the Saturday because they're going to be spread out. And that is very important. They need to have primetime games on Saturdays, big matches that they hype up, and then have a couple other matches throughout the day that people can look forward to. And I think that this is really going to help MLS. And they're experimenting, right? They're trying to figure things out. They're trying to see what happens. Obviously, there's some complaints with Apple TV and MLS, but they're trying at least to do something a little different to see what will happen. Now, also, Messi and other big time players will be playing more games. We had Copa America, there were injuries. Messi missed like 15 games this year or 14 games because of injuries in Copa America. There is no big tournament like that this year. Now, there will be some Argentina friendlies and some games, but he's not going to be missing 10 games because of Argentina duty this year. That is huge. You need your superstars like Messi, like Suarez, all these players to play in as many games as you possibly can because that's what you're selling. You're telling people that these games are big, that these guys are the important ones you need to watch. And if they're not playing, you're essentially telling them, hey, you don't need to watch these games. These guys that I told you were the faces of the league, the guys that you need to see are not playing, so it doesn't matter. That's not going to happen as much this season because there are no big tournaments, and that is huge. Messi will probably play between 26 to 28 games this year, which is almost 10 more than he played last year. That is huge. I'm sure he'll get a couple rest games, probably, 6 to 8 rest games, but still having him play that many games is essential to the league, to Inter Miami, especially with Suarez too. Suarez needs to play in as many games as he possibly can, and hopefully the knees hold up. But you need the superstars to be here. You need them to play, and this is beautiful to see. Hopefully, they are able to carry some crazy momentum in the summer, and they are able to get people's eyes on the league and to stick around. And the final point, this is a year leading up to the World Cup. This is pre-World Cup year. We really need to see improvement, and I think we will because they need to be a step ahead in 2026. In 2026, there's going to be a bunch of people in the United States because that's where the World Cup is being hosted, the United States, Canada, and Mexico, but predominantly the United States. There are going to be so many casual fans, maybe even people who don't like soccer right now, who are going to give MLS some attention, going to turn into an MLS game, going to check it out and see what the domestic league is about. And they need to be on top of things. And I think that that's what they're going to do this summer. I think this year leading into the 2026 World Cup. And it's the precursor. It's the lead up, right? It's going to get people excited. Like I'm very excited for 2025. I'm sure you guys, if you're watching this right now, you're excited. And if you're enjoying it so far, please make sure you give it a thumbs up or comment down below what you think. But 2025 is a big year. It's a huge year. And they are bringing in some big names. Teams are spending. They're trying to raise the quality. And hopefully we can look back after the 2026 World Cup and tell ourselves and believe this, right? Not just delusionally tell ourselves this, but believe that MLS is a top 10 league in the world. That's very attainable. I think that it will happen. And especially with the steps we're seeing right now. I have several friends texting me saying, Will, I'm excited. I can't believe this team's doing that or this team's doing this. People are paying attention. People are paying attention. And if they keep doing this and spending and the cheap teams are trying, it's really going to make a difference, guys. And I hope you guys feel the same way I do and realize that 2025 is going to be a very special year for MLS. And when you're a league this young, this will be MLS's 30th year. Every single year should be better than the last. And not only do I think it's going to be by a little bit, I think it's going to be significantly. So, guys, we're in for a great season. I hope you guys enjoy these videos as much as I enjoy making them for you. If you do, please subscribe to the channel, like the video down below, hit the little bell notification so you never miss a video. And also consider being a member of the channel. It helps us out 10 cents a day. There's going to be some member exclusive content in the near future. So make sure you check out the link down below to be a member and comment down below what you think. And until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.